Hello viewers, I'm SB, and welcome to Noita. This is a really weird, really cool little roguelite. It's still in early access, and it's very, very early access, like we're a long way away from release. So, I didn't want to play the game enough to burn out on it or get even too familiar with it before it properly comes out, but I did think it's worth a little bit of a deep dive, because there's a lot of stuff in here already, and what's here is really cool. So I figured this would be a cool way to do it. Today we're just gonna play Noita. I don't know, it's gonna be like 4 to 6 episodes or something of us just screwing around in Noita, trying to learn a thing. And what you're seeing right now on the screen is a weird little... This sequence, as far as I can tell, only plays the very first time you load a save. So I reset the progress on my save so that we could see that. It might be vague instructions toward a secret. It might just be some creepy lore stuff. I have no idea. But I figured it was worth catching on camera at the beginning of our little experiment here. So this is Noita. Like I said, it's sort of a roguelite. It's very run-based. There's a lot of randomness going on. But there are a couple of really interesting and as far as I'm aware, pretty unique systems in this game. So first of all, we're walking in here. You can see we're getting all the basics of the controls. We can kick stuff, and our little wizard man kicks pretty hard, actually. We can run around. We have a limited ability to fly. And then also, whenever we touch liquids, you can see I've gotten wet. My robe is wet, which makes me a little bit less flammable. That's actually going to be a big deal. There's a lot of fire in this game. But as far as those cool systems I was talking about, one of the things that really is really interesting about this game is that there is a comprehensive physics system. Like every particle in the world, every pixel in the world has its own material type. You can see this is some damp rock. Over here we have some basic ground. There's blood and soil and stuff. All of those things have their own properties, and as you will see shortly, they react. They react to the things that happen in the world. So we've started the game with just a couple of wands here. Our spark wand, if I open this up, yeah. It just shoots those little spark projectiles. It has an infinite capacity, and it just, they're little tiny bad magic projectiles. And then we also have a bomb wand. Bombs are extremely destructive. We get a very small number of them. We also started with a flask full of water, which is a thing that was not true last time I played the game, so we'll try to find a use for that. And a big part of the game is picking up more wands. Check this out. And we'll talk about better wands and stuff in more detail once we get through the first area. This wand has a couple charges of energy sphere. Energy sphere does 10 damage compared to our current projectile doing 3. I'm a big fan of energy sphere. I will say I haven't gotten super far in the game. I actually did one video on this right when it hit early access, and that video is as far as I've been. So if you saw that, you know pretty much as I do. We're also going to pick up this polymorphine flask. So polymorphine is a liquid that when it gets on stuff, polymorphs it into other stuff. Somehow a fire started over here, so you can see it's devouring the wood and it's creating smoke, and we actually can't breathe in the smoke. If I fly up there, you'll see we'll start to suffocate, and the physics in the game are pretty intense in a way that gives you a lot of cool options. Can't get through here easily. We could start a fire. There's a lantern right there. So this is a big pile of coal, which means it will burn fairly quickly. Of course, it's sitting on top of a bunch of wood. Also, it looks like I didn't really need to go this way. We could have just flown around over here. And also, there's not even a reason to be over here. But, we gotta check. I think it's pretty important. Oh god, I'm on fire. I was hoping that we would fall through there quickly enough. So you can see we're somewhat rapidly losing health. Oh god, okay. Somewhat rapidly losing health. The robe is not super flammable. That's just a bunch of creepy enemies locked inside of a wooden cage here. I think we're going to leave them in there. Boy, it would be really great if I could hit this guy with my projectile. There we go. Yeah, we want to try to get together a reasonable amount of gold before we complete the first area, because in the little area between levels, there's a shop, and I would like to be able to buy stuff. You can see there's lots of different kinds of enemies. Oh god, I'm stuck. Okay. What is this? Berserkium. Oh, I think Berserkium is a liquid that if it gets on you, makes all of your attacks twice as effective. Or maybe not twice, but it makes all of your attacks more effective. One thing that I discovered in the the video that we did on this game earlier is that it also affects the radius of your explosives. You can get some pretty huge explosions which is not a great thing if you're not ready for your explosions to be really huge. Speaking of explosions, I'm just going to detonate this explosive box right now. Well, maybe I am. There we go. So that Berserkium silo is, in theory, going to burn open in a second here. There we go. I don't really want to be in the flood of Berserkium. I think it's a great danger to us. And actually, I'm not sure that I want to go down there, because enemies covered in Berserkium are also a great danger to us, but these silo formations very often have stuff under them. I mean, we could just drop a bomb here. I suppose maybe that's the thing to do. We'll just put a bomb down there, and then we'll get away from the bomb. Ah, fire. Okay, the chest had, a wand with a whole bunch of stuff on it. So, wands don't just have projectiles in them. Sometimes they have modifiers, like this formation, which causes you to shoot one of the spells in your wand forward and the other one backward. It also has bonus crit chance, and projectiles release an electric charge on impact. This is very interesting. Hold on, we're going to play with this wand in a second. Whoa. So it's interesting that the rear effect doesn't always happen. I still don't 100% understand how all of the modifiers and stuff work, so we're gonna learn together. There's a flask of something, a flask of Berserkium over there. I don't think I want to brave the Berserkium pool to grab it. In theory, Berserkium's good for you, because it makes you deal more damage. I'm just real nervous about it, since that thing that happened, and, you know, we have enough damage. A wand that, a projectile that does 10 damage is totally sufficient for killing stuff in the first area. I don't know what's going on down here. There are enemies, like, yeah, these guys that we've seen, that carry their own, carry around dynamite and use it, so sometimes they'll get a little overexcited by your presence, or sometimes different types of enemies will fight as well. But sometimes they'll just see another thing they don't like and they'll throw a lot of dynamite at it, and that's how a lot of these like arbitrary fires and stuff start. Oh geez, that's actually not a safe place to go. Something is shining in the darkness over here. We should probably go check it out. It looks like, okay, it is another wand. What is that? That is a flask of fire. Can you just put fire in a flask? I mean, we'll take it. There's no reason not to take it. So these flasks containing things, we can throw the flasks, and they basically function as like a material bomb. I imagine if we throw the fire flask at someone, it will explode into a huge fire. Ow. Okay. Well, I stood underneath the fire. This is really my bad. Oh god. Oh god. I think we're probably just going to let this one burn out. It's not totally ideal, but I don't have a lot of options here. But you can also just like aim the flask at somebody and do here, like this. Just shoot some of whatever's in there. So I actually kind of like the idea of having a source of directable fire. Oh man, what is that? Luminous drill with timer. A pinpointed short-ranged beam that does 11 damage, casts another spell after the timer runs out. This is a very strange-looking wand. You know what? Let's go ahead and drop our magic bolt wand, because we're never going to use that again. The orb wand we have is just strictly better. So let's figure out what this thing actually does. Okay, well I like that quite a bit. So you'll notice there's a bunch of bars up in the corner. This bar here is the mana of the wand. Each wand has its own stats in addition to the spells that are on it. So you can see this one has a mana max of 690, but it only charges 10 per second, maybe, is what that means. Whereas like the other one we were using has a charge speed of 45. So it takes a long time for this thing to recharge, and it can't really use its spells until you have enough mana in it. We may want to mess with all this stuff a little bit. That's the other system that the game has going for it that I think is really interesting and unique. And when we get through this first area, you'll get to see it in a little bit more detail. So the stone here is a pretty good indicator that down there somewhere is the way forward. But I want to go exploring. We only have 138 gold, and this is not enough. Why don't we just blast through here? Please don't let a fire fall on me again. Okay, so that's a portal forward. Trying really hard to hit that guy. Oh no, my gold. There it goes. Yeah, things will sink into like piles of coal or gunpowder, you know, whatever sorts of piles of particles you might find. You can see over there, some enemies are having a thing. Maybe I should be using the other wand. I will say this, it seems to be quite fast, and look at how it digs through the terrain. I mean, it did say that it was a drill, right? Let's experiment with that again. That's actually really interesting. I'm not really sure how best to use that. So there's a bunch of, what is this, copper. I don't really know what the properties of copper are. Oh god. There we go. I'll just cut that in half. I want to blow up this crate because it will open the way forward for us. Oh, that was a flask of something, and oh no, the flask is okay. A flask of gunpowder. That seems like a really dangerous thing. We should be very careful with this. That said, it has a lot of potential, a lot of fun potential. So the money that enemies drop will disappear over time. Like you have to pick it up within, I don't know, like 10 seconds probably of it dropping, in case you're wondering why I'm not waiting for the fires to just burn out. Why do things the safe way when you could do them the fast way? Okay, here's a weird thing. Sometimes there are these tablets, and they have weird little verses on them. I have no idea what to do with them. This is the only one that I know of, that I know how to find consistently. There's always this thing all the way at the right of the first area. In about 20 seconds here, you're going to know literally everything I know about the game. So yeah, there's these. You can pick them up and carry them in your flask slots. I don't really want to do that right now because we have all these interesting flasks. And there's also, to the right of the flask, all this lava. If we can find something that will let us cross the lava, because we do not have enough flight power to get all the way to the other side, there is a thing over there. What happens to lava if you put polymorphine in it? Polymorphine just floats on top of the lava. Okay, great. I'm assuming gunpowder is... Yep. You know, it did seem to lower the level of the lava a little bit. It consumed some of it. Fire's not going to help us. Can you just get lava wet? Does that help? Oh. Okay, it actually does solidify the top of it. So, like, there's a fascinating, like, weird magic physics simulation going on here. I did not realize this. The time that I got across here, I did it in a considerably more magical way. This'll work. I'm still a little nervous because we're getting like little particles of lava on top of the chilled layer. I guess maybe this is why they start you with a flask of water now, so that this is more consistently doable. I guess I could be doing this a little bit faster. Okay, there we go. First of all, treasure chest. Hey, that helps. 338. That feels like an okay amount of money to take over into the next area. I don't remember this being what it was before. Now, again, there's no fall damage, but I am nervous about what we're going to find down here, so I'm just going to fall slowly and carefully. The yellow bar in the top right is our flight energy, so you can see it's not a... It recharges pretty quickly whenever you're not actively flying. Maybe this is what it was like? I only sort of remember. I thought there was a secret. Hold on a second. Can we climb this? You can see here, extremely dense rock, as you might guess from the name. Pretty hard to dig through. I am actually kind of curious. Does our digging wand... No, it does not, in fact, do anything. Wait, is that the right wand? No, this is the right wand. Okay. So the dig wand does get in a little bit, I guess. But just a little tiny bit. It also seems to have a pretty short range in general for digging. Like it maybe not even just for digging. Oh, you know what? The range might be affected by how much mana I have. when I use it. Like, it might take mana for every inch that it travels out of the wand. This is not really a good, generally usable wand because of the extremely low recharge rate. I think this is maybe the slowest I've ever seen. Well, I mean, we're certainly climbing. I don't know. I don't know if this is going anywhere, but they are letting us go up. Oh, no, it looks like this does not go anywhere. Oh, you know what? Oh, God. I'm wondering if maybe we could have made it around there if I had just started the flight at the highest point that we could stand on over here. We're going to try this one more time. All right, so right here. Okay, we're full. Try to just pulse it. Because right there is, yeah, there's totally a standable surface up here. Hey, look at that. We climbed over. The orb room. Well, this is something. That is a much larger tablet. It is also volume 7. I don't know if that means there are actually 7 of them. Among those who devote themselves to the transmutation of metals, however, there can be no such thing as mediocrity of attainment. A person who studies this art must have either everything or nothing. An alchemist who knows only half their craft reaps nothing but disappointment, and waste of time and money. Moreover, they lay themselves open to the mockery of those who despise our art. Those, indeed, who succeed in reaching the goal of the magistry have not only infinite riches, but the means of continued life and health. Hence, it is the most popular of all pursuits. It does sound pretty good. And then this is going to raise our max HP. A familiar orb of true knowledge. Okay, and then also the extra max health thing that I was expecting to get. All right. Well, I think that's a little bit different than what it was when I was up here right when the game came out. Maybe we should take this. We could just, like, drop the polymorphine flask, I guess. What was that? That was a big rumble. I'm just gonna throw this away. Get out of here. No, wait, that's the wrong button. Get out of here. Give me this tablet. I should maybe have been more careful with that, because now we may have to cross that. I don't actually know if we can get out on the other side here. Well, I mean, we can once again climb up. Okay, no, there is a roof. Alright, well, congratulations. You now know pretty much everything that I know about this game. Let's go forth and experiment and explore. It makes a lot of sense to me that there's stuff about alchemy in the game. I can totally see why that would be the case. The game is very much about, like, combining magic. Wait, was all that polymorphine hanging on something in the air? Well, too late now. We're all the way down here. We've gone too far. There's no way back. No way back that wouldn't be boring, which is the same thing as no way at all. So I don't really know how we're going to get out of here. I guess we're going to walk left until we find... Okay. Something that isn't just dense rock. I got stuck on this icicle. We've found our way into the snowy depths. Here there are many rats, apparently. Listen, I'm not a big fan of how video games always use rats as crummy enemies. First of all, rats are lovely, kind creatures, and secondly, rats are a great deal smarter than most of the creatures that get to be good enemies in video games. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so what you've seen here is that the enemies can grab the magic wands if they get to them before you do. And sometimes that could be a real problem, depending on the wand. I don't know what that guy's got there, but we need to take it from him. I think my, Jesus. I think my wand was, like, sticking through him and I was shooting out the other side. This is a very strange-looking wand. So it has the electric charge, projectiles leave a trail of water. It's mostly just spark bolts. And a slithering path thing. You know what? Our second wand is out of ammo. I'll just drop that. We don't need it. Okay, so we could go up, but I mean, down is forward, right? It's a video game. You're always going either down or to the right. What is that thing? Oh, Jesus! Okay, so there are enemies I've never seen before, is what I'm learning. Also, this wand is not very accurate. That's another thing of the wands individually. Some of them are more accurate than others. What have we here? A gunpowder arcing spitter bolt with timer. So, we're not going to worry about this one. We'll talk in... My plan was to talk in a little bit more detail about the wands once we got to the area where you can fiddle with your wands, but we seem to have skipped the first area where you can fiddle with your wands by going to the secret. Causes the projectile to explode powerfully upon collision with a creature that is covered in slime. That's interesting. So this wand simultaneously casts 2 spells, and they are big, impressive fireballs, but this thing has limited ammunition. I'm not actually sure if I think this thing is any good. Damage on this projectile is only 3, so we would have to drop one of these wands to take advantage of it. To be perfectly honest, I don't think this wand is very impressive overall. It does have a huge, like a very, very high max mana, but again, ridiculously low charge speed. This also has that very low charge speed. I think we're gonna discard this wand for the green fire wand, not because I actually like the green fire wand very much, but because I want to take its projectiles. All right, so let's use our our cutting wand here to chop through this ice. Oh god. Well, it sure does take a while to recharge. I just want to, yeah, there we go. Just break off a chunk of the ice. Let me go back to the fighting wand. Nope, get away from me. Get away from me, terrifying skull. I don't know exactly what your deal is, but I do know that flying skulls are never good. Ow. Okay, so we're taking some damage here from these freezing vapors. But you can see we found the stone again. We're getting close to being able to get out of this area. I just gotta find a way to cut through all that. Oh, you know what we could probably use to cut through all that? We have this flask full of fire. This is actually going to be a little tricky because it's going to melt the snow and the snow is going to turn to water and the water is potentially going to put the fire out, but okay, it seems to have done a good enough job. Just try to carve a hole large enough for a person to fit through. Because we've done something here, but it's not quite what we need. There we go. That actually is totally working. I was a little nervous. The fire would create pools of water and then burn itself out like it seems to be doing there. That's all right. I brought way more fire. We could, I suppose, just hurl the fire flask over there. That would probably cut us a pretty big hole, but I would like to maintain some of this. Oh man, how about we add some gunpowder to the fire? There we go, that's working. Now that right there, that is how digging is done. Okay. Well, I'd be lying if I said this was the best position I've ever been in coming into the Holy Mountain, but we do get to restore all of our health and refill all of the ammo in all of our wands. So like if we still had the bomb wand, we could use it. And unfortunately, here in the second shop, things are very expensive. We can afford one of these wands, but we already have full wand slots. Let's not worry too much about that. I am curious about what's going on down here. That looks like a thing I've never seen before. But we don't really have a way of carving through there. I wonder if we could use this to cut through the rock. We would be here an awfully long time waiting for this to recharge enough to actually cut us through. I'm just gonna keep moving. I guess one thing we could try is laying a bunch of gunpowder over here. Oh, Jesus. I wasn't expecting that to just go off. I was going to create a layer of gunpowder on the floor and then ignite it. But apparently it's very unstable. Well, thankfully there was a pool of water there. Alright, so over here we're going to get to pick some perks. But before we do that, while we're in the shop, we can edit our wands. So we can pull all of the various spells off of them and rebuild them. So let's have a look at the wands themselves. This wand has shuffle on. Which is unfortunate. Sort of a handy way to think about these things is like, think of the wands as guns. So like a wand that doesn't have shuffle, and unfortunately literally all of our wands do, will just, the first time you click it, it'll use whatever spells here, then it'll use whatever spells there, and so forth until you get to the end of the, magazine. And then once you hit the end of the magazine, you can see that recharge time occurs, like the wand is reloading, and then you go back to the top of the list. Unfortunately, with a shuffle wand, it's really hard to know what's going to happen. This one wand that we can buy, is this non-shuffle? It is. Okay, I'm going to spend the money then. Let's pull all of the stuff off of... Yeah, the digging wand. Because the digging wand, I like the digging effect, but the wand itself is total garbage. That super slow recharge rate is just not going to work for us. So I'll empty that out, we'll buy this, and then we can craft ourselves a new... Gunpowder is still slowly working over there. And craft ourselves a new toy here. So this has the Death Cross, and it shoots dropper bolts. A very heavy explosive bolt. The Death Cross, I think when you use it, it just sort of floats in the air at the end of the wand, and then it blows up in a cross formation. It's really dangerous. I've killed myself with it a couple of times. So let's pull these. I don't love these things. And then we're going to... What's a wand that has a decent mana charge speed? Okay. We're going to turn this wand, number 3, into our digging wand. So a pinpointed short-ranged beam of concentrated light that casts another spell after the timer runs out. We're just going to put all of these in here, and we're not going to attach anything else to it. There. Now it is a straightforward digging wand. It doesn't matter that it shuffles on, because all of the slots in it are identical. And then we're going to build ourselves a fighting wand as well. We probably want to use our energy spheres. I like that. The energy spheres can have an electric charge that causes them to do 3 bonus damage. Or what we could do is put double spell on this wand instead, and that'll cause it to, when we fire that first slot, it'll fire the next 2 spells, which obviously is pretty good. I think this is a nice straightforward thing. And then, do we want to put any modifiers on the digging wand? It being able to burn stuff too actually might be really good for us. Sometimes, you need to dig through a bunch of snow or something. And then, what do we want to do with these other wands? Is there anything in particular? I wish this wand had more spell slots on it. That is a real shame. We can create for ourselves a desperation, like super high damage but dangerous wand. Although we probably shouldn't put... If it has shuffle, I'm a little leery of putting in multiple spells that are like really different. But we can put a bunch of damage modifiers. And I'm still not experienced enough with the system to know if it matters terribly what order these things are in, so we're going to learn some stuff today, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, and then I'm just going to pull all the spells out of this wand. I think we want to have these modifiers to potentially build stuff with later, but this will give us an empty wand that we can discard if we find something, safely discard if we can find something cool later. So our fighting wand is this one. Alright, and then when you go through one of these shops, you get to buy a perk. So, immunity to melee damage. Obviously, they don't have descriptions on them, but I think we can guess what Exploding Corpses does. And Slime Blood sounds bad. I don't really want to have Slime Blood. I don't want creatures in the world to have Slime Blood. I like normal blood, thank you. Let's just become immune to melee. That seems like a good way to go. And so if we drench ourselves with blood, you see blood is a liquid and does protect you from fire in the same way, but also the bloodier you are, the more likely you are to get a critical hit. Okay, and we've entered a base, a spooky base. Spooky base full of toxic sludge, and also lights, ominous lights. Oh man, look at that. So one thing I didn't really look at... Oh, I should probably pick up the gold before we go, looking at our inventory. One thing I didn't look at is that each wand has a different degree of inaccuracy. Oh yeah, a spread of 1 degree. That's lovely. So these projectiles are pretty much going to go where we want them to go. I kind of want to cut through this. Wand 3 is our digging wand, right? So we'll just create a hole here, and... Ooh, actually, we could just detonate that. There we go. Got him. I was kind of hoping that if I cut this away from the... if I cut a hole in this at the top and the bottom, it would just be, like, a thing we could knock over. Looks like no such luck. Well, that's a shame, because we don't have a bomb. We don't have a bomb anymore. We could try a little bit of gunpowder on it, now that we've loosened it. Nope. Also, it looks like I got some water in my gunpowder flask. Is this thing explosive? Just kick this over there and then then shoot it a couple of times. I don't actually know what that is, so let's experiment. Ah! What is it shooting? Oh, it's full of like liquid nitrogen or something. It created a bunch of freezing vapor, which does not help us. Okay, you know what? We'll just go around. That's fine. We learned something today. The metal is hard to cut through. Who would have thought? Okay, that thing is some sort of automated turret man. I have definitely fought those before. They are not a joke. Our damage output is pretty solid. God, it sees us. I'm just trying to get down here. Okay. That's a big explosive crate. Well, it was nice of him to stand on it for us. Unfortunately, it does make his gold a little bit more difficult to get safely. Jesus. Yeah, those turrets are tough. I didn't realize you can shoot the dynamite out of the air. That's pretty cool. Alright, so since there's no metal between us and those guys, we probably could just get through here with our digging wand, but I think I'd rather dig away from them. Why did I think that would work? Of course, creating a small hole in the snow is not going to help. More snow is going to fall into it. So you see, we can dig through the icy stuff pretty easily here. Digging through a big pile of snow is going to be a little harder. And we could probably, with a little bit of time, make this a traversable hole. Do I want to? Do I actually want to go up there? Maybe not. Those guys probably have a lot of gold. Big enemy equals lots of money. But also, I do like surviving. I guess that's a thing I should be thinking about. We still have a lot of health. I mean, we're not in a huge amount of danger just yet. I have no idea how deep the game is right now. Sorry, not like it's mechanically deep. I have no idea how many levels there are, how far down we still have to go in order to win. Oh, Jesus. Okay, that's bad. That's bad. We gotta get away from this thing. So when you get hit by something, especially something very powerful, it significantly affects your ability to fly for a little bit. You're wondering why I seemed to just like fall and behave strangely there. I was not trying to get shot more. This wand has a ton of stuff going on. So triple spell, a big powerful magic missile that does 100 damage, jeez. And dropper bolts, and blood mist, which I assume just makes you bloody. And also a magic bolt that casts another spell on collision. There's a ton of stuff going on here. That wand is going to be very unpredictable in practice. It's possible that I need to just like get okay with unpredictable. I probably play the game too conservatively. That's the thing we'll figure out. So that wasn't, it's not a big explosive crate. It was a crate that was full of gunpowder. Good news is that guy's on fire. The bad news is so is everything else. This little, this altar is fireproof. Ow. Man, he's a much better shot than I am. But okay, that's kind of the idea. We made it, you know, 575 meters. That's actually pretty good. I would not expect us to make it that deep all of the time. And it looks like it didn't really, like it reset my save progress, but it kept all my records from before. So you can see this is the furthest down we've ever been. It's going to be tough. I anticipate a lot of failure today, but I think this is probably an okay place to leave the first episode. This will give you a good idea of what it is we're looking for. This game seems super cool. Come back in a little while for another episode, and we'll see you then.